Hey everybody, how are you? How you doing today? It's your girl Meg. Nice to see you in another video. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be doing something super fun, and it's been 2.5 years since I've done this kind of video. We are testing a full face of makeup dupes. So on one side of my face, I'm gonna be wearing all high-end products. On the other side of my face, I'm going to be testing all drugstore items and comparing and contrasting and seeing if we find really good dupes. Can we tell the difference? Like, do you know which side is which? I kind of almost gave it away. This is a final look using all of the drugstore and high-end products. I feel like we came up with a solid makeup look that is pretty much dupeable. So before we get started, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to this channel. I would love to be your friend. I also have a blog and I am very active on social media, especially Instagram, where you can find me. I blog about beauty, mommy, travel, and different lifestyle stuff. So I hope you'll stick around and then we can be friends. So if you want to see a full face of drugstore makeup dupes tested, then keep watching. Okay, let's get started with this video. I did my brows first off camera. I'll talk about a dupe product later. We're gonna jump right into primer and just get this whole face of makeup done. On my left, your right side of the screen is going to be my high-end side. And I chose this for a reason because I feel like this is my better side, and I really think that'll like tell you guys the difference if I'm gonna choose my right side as the dupe side, so you know if my bad side performs just as good as my good side, then we've got some really winning products. So the first product we're gonna go in with is primer, and today's dupe is gonna be a dupe for the cult favorite Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer. This stuff is pricey, it's amazing, and I love it, but here is the dupe. It's the NYX Angel Veil. This is so much cheaper. NYX is a little bit more expensive. I think this is almost $15, but it's better than $45. All right, so let's just go ahead. What's really great about this primer is that it just really smooths the area out, and it's really good for oil control, really smooths the skin out. So then we're gonna be going in with the NYX Angel Veil. I will say the Angel Veil is a little thicker of a consistency when you first like put it on, but then when you start rubbing it out, the difference in my opinion is so slight in the consistency and like how it feels on the skin. I'm just like blown away. I actually mentioned this in my primer dupes blog post, so I will link that below if you wanna go and visit it. I have a whole blog post that I've duped I think 5 or 6 different high-end primers. Okay, now the star of the show is the foundation, always, isn't it, right? You guys know that this Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation is a cult favorite among so many people, and it's really expensive. And it's so good, it's amazing. It just like has the most natural coverage, it's beautiful, and it's full coverage, but I just love it. And then its dupe though is $6. 45 versus 6, you guys. It is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Stick Foundation. So we're gonna go ahead and go in with the Hourglass over here. And then we're gonna hit the other side of the face, this one. The color match is also perfect. This is in the shade Classic Ivory, and then this one is Ivory. We're gonna go ahead and start blending this out. I prefer a brush with stick foundations. I'm gonna rub a lot of this off onto a baby wipe over here. And now we're gonna hit this side of my face. I would have brought 2 foundation brushes, but it's not gonna mess it up too much. Okay, hello, identical. I mean, seriously, hello. It's so crazy how identical these are. Next is going to be the concealer, which we're going to be using this cult favorite by Tarte. This is the Shape Tape. I feel like Shape Tape holds the standard of concealers, right? Everybody compares their concealer to Shape Tape. And I don't really love Shape Tape anymore for underneath my eyes, but for the purposes of this video, I think we're just going to go ahead and go with it. And I have this in the shade Fair. These are going to be really light. And this is the dupe that I found for it. It is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. This is going to be really, really light, but I'm gonna kind of keep it minimal. And the reason why I think these are so similar is that they are very full coverage concealers. They dry down very matte. Honestly, for some reason, I actually kind of think I like the e.l.f. a little bit more, but if you love Shape Tape and you want kind of an alternative, I really think this e.l.f. one is going to be so good for you. You're gonna really like it. And I'm not gonna use a whole bunch today just because it's very, very bright. Look how bright it is. I'm gonna be looking very ghastly soon. Okay. I'm gonna turn my beauty blender to the other side and apply the e.l.f. one under here. Okay. I also put concealer on my eyelid to act kind of as an eyeshadow primer as well, because I don't really use eyeshadow primer anymore. I'm just highlighting there with the concealer. I gotta remember this is my e.l.f. side. Probably just leave it at that. I don't think I want to do any like highlighting with concealer today. I'm just gonna go ahead and blend this in. Okay. All right, next is powder, and I love this dupe, and I actually prefer the drugstore version more than the high-end. And this is the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, and it's a cult favorite. So many people love this. It's holy grail for so many people, but I have a drugstore alternative, and it is the Maybelline Fit Me loose powder. Now, I feel like they're so similar in the fact that they do pretty much the exact same thing, but this powder is less dry than this one. I feel like this one gets a little dry under my eyes and this one never does. Like, I just love the way that this sets. I am going to just do some light setting on the eyelid and under the eye. I'm not really gonna go in there and do some heavy baking with it. I'm just going to lightly set the face. I don't want it to be heavy. I've kind of not really been into that lately. I'm gonna turn my beauty blender over and lightly set the e.l.f. side. Really do feel so similar. This powder is way less drying in my opinion. I'm gonna use a fluffy powder brush and then hit the left side of my face to kind of set down the foundation. And then I'm gonna go in with another powder brush and then grab the Maybelline Fit Me and set this side of my face. Just ever so slightly. There we go. Now it's time to move on. All right, I'm looking pretty ghastly, but that's okay. We're gonna fix it. At this point in my makeup routine, I will move on to my brows. And today I don't actually have the high-end product to show you, but I will show you the dupe that I think is worth purchasing in its place. And I have a couple of blog posts about it. There's actually a couple of dupes that I would consider a dupe for this particular product is the Anastasia Brow Wiz. The Brow Wiz is just like a cult favorite brow pencil. And honestly, the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer and the NYX Micro Brow are pretty much the exact same thing, so I would go for that instead. So the brows were done, like I said, off camera, and we're just gonna go ahead and move on to bronzer. Today's bronzer, high-end bronzer, and I actually used this in my last high-end versus drugstore video, is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. It's a beautiful, cool-toned, very neutral bronzer, and it's kind of hard to dupe. But this is a brand new drugstore product that I'm going to actually use on this side of my face, and this is the Maybelline City Bronzer in the shade 200. There's not really like a name. There's a couple of different shades and it's the one that's 200. In the pan, it looks a little bit lighter, but I think on the skin, the tone of all of this is like very identical. So I'm gonna show you in just a second when it's on my skin. Even the size of the product and the pans are like very, very similar. So I just thought that this was a pretty decent dupe. So the Too Faced is gonna go again on the high-end side, and we're just gonna speed this up with me applying it. I'm doing a little bit of like just slight contouring, and I'm gonna put just a little bit on the side of my nose and just like bronze and contour the skin and like bring it to life. Now we are moving on to the L'Oreal product with a different brush. Going back with the Chocolate Soleil over here, just to kind of balance What do we think so far? Do we think my skin is looking pretty similar on both sides? I'm thinking it is. I think this is looking good. I would normally do like blush and stuff right now, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and move on to eyes. We're gonna do eyeshadow now and then kind of skip back into finishing up the face with blush and highlighter and all that. So today's eyeshadow that I'm duping is the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. This was really popular. I really love this palette. I think it's really versatile. It's beautiful. Warm tones are just insane. And today's palette that I'm gonna use to dupe it with is this Profusion palette called the Mixed Metals Peach palette. Let me show you what I'm talking about as far as the tones. Now, when you kind of look at this off the bat, it may not look like dupey, like enough dupes to me, to you. Like, I can't speak English. When you look at this like side by side, you might be like, I don't know about that. But I will show you like exactly how they perform. In fact, I'm gonna show you just by swatching a few of the shades. So there is those white eyeshadows. There is this that matches this. It's hard to like hold up and swatch at the same time. Two different palettes. And then this with this. This is identical. And then this with this. Oh my gosh. So I feel like we've got some really great shades that we can create a look with that match identical. And the cool thing about Profusion palettes is I believe this is $10 at Target, so it's very affordable. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is get started. I have different eyeshadow brushes that I'm gonna be using to make sure that I don't cross-contaminate. So for the transition shade, I will be using this shade right here called Low Below and the Naked Heat palette as my first shade, and then I'll show you the other one I'm going to go in with on the other palette as we put them on, instead of doing like one eye then doing the other eye, so you can kind of see with your own two eyes how this works. So Low Blow is going right here. We're going to speed this up. Okay, there we go. Going in with the Profusion palette, and we are going to use this shade called Outing, doing the exact same thing on this side. I think off the bat, these are less pigmented. The difference is like the shade is really similar, but these are a little more chalky and a little less pigmented, but I think I can forgive that for it being $10. So this side might take a little bit longer than the other side to finish and build the pigment. As you can see, they are not completely identical as far as like the shade goes. You know what I'm saying? It's not 100% identical, but they're close, and that's all that matters, right? Okay, we're moving on to the crease work. And for the crease today, I will be using this shade called He Devil. He Devil is gonna be going right there in the crease on this side. We'll speed it up. Okay, now we're moving to the drugstore side, and we're going to be using the shade Outspoken, which is right here in this Profusion palette. I feel like it looks exactly the same. We shall see what it looks like side by side. Okay. Let's take a closer look at this. Those are pretty identical in my opinion. Those two shades look so similar. So similar. I'm gonna keep this easy and just go with the lid color and a highlight and be done with it. I'm using this shade called Dirty Talk, just slightly on the eyes. Just with my finger, we're gonna use this finger, then clean it off, and then use it on the other palette, just right there on the lid. Just simple like that. So we have pretty warm, fiery eyes today. And it's definitely not gonna match the lipstick, but that's okay. This is the shade Certain in the Profusion palette. And I wiped my finger off on that baby wipe, and then we're going in with it. This one is not quite as red, but I feel like it's so stinking close. Can we see how close that is? And then finally, we are going to highlight with this shade in the Naked Heat palette called Ounce. This is gonna be going on the brow bone, so up here and in the inner corner. Then on this one, we're gonna be using this shade right here to do the exact same thing. This is called Polite. I feel like the texture of these shadows are slightly different, but the pigment and the finishes are so similar that I feel like this is such a good dupe. If you are considering the Naked Heat palette and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, get you to Target and get the Peach Profusion Peach palette. Now, we are gonna move on to mascara. We're not gonna do eyeliner because I just don't feel like doing eyeliner. I don't hardly ever use eyeliner. Now I curled my eyelashes and I'm gonna show you my mascara dupe. So the high-end mascara that I've got to show you today is the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. It's so popular, cult favorite, people love it. I love the weight, the packaging, it's beautiful. It's a wonderful mascara. You're gonna think I'm gonna say L'Oreal Lash Paradise, right? Wrong. I found one that I think is better and a better mascara. It is the CoverGirl Exhibitionist. I started using this just a few weeks ago and I was like, wait a second, this is a dupe. This is amazing. This is going down as like my favorite Better Than Sex dupe. Let me just show you real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and apply the Too Faced really quickly on one eye, and I will then switch over to the CoverGirl. We're gonna speed this up. Alrighty, can we see that mascara? It's volumizing, lengthening. It is just a great mascara. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the CoverGirl Exhibitionist mascara. This is a newer mascara to their line, but it's so good. And let me just show you. Okay, let's look at the lashes. What do we think? Pretty close, honestly. Let me show you these wands too. I have to hold them up and show you. And then let me show you the wands. They're so similar. L'Oreal Lash Paradise wand is pretty much the same, but what I will say about a complaint that I've seen recently from a lot of people is that the L'Oreal Lash Paradise flakes a lot. This one doesn't. It is actually stays put so amazing. So definitely give the CoverGirl Exhibitionist a try if you haven't already. Okay, we're moving on to blush. Today's blush that we're gonna be using is the Benefit Dandelion blush. It is just like a soft pink blush. No fuss, no muss. It's very easy. It's beautiful on the skin. And here's what it looks like. It's just really universally flattering on a lot of people. And the dupe that we have for this today is the L'Oreal True Match Cool Blush in the shade C12. So let me open this up. Whoa, I didn't realize it came with like a brush on that side. So I just wanted you to see it in the pan. We are gonna go in with the Benefit blush on the side we've been putting all of our high-end products on. Doesn't really match that great with my eyeshadow look today, but that's okay. I would typically go for more of a nude, warmer blush, but I think it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine. And then we're switching brushes, and we're gonna go in with the L'Oreal C12. Sorry, right there on this cheek. And we're going back in here to kind of match these up so you can see. All right, I think that's a good match, a good dupe. Okay, we've come to the highlighting part of our journey, and today is my holy grail highlighter. It is the Ofra Rodeo Drive. I've had this for so long that they actually changed the packaging on this. This is the most blinding intense highlighter you will ever use. It's amazing. I just love it. And today's dupe is actually not a highlighter. it is an eyeshadow. It is the Maybelline Expert Wear eyeshadow in the shade The Glow Down. And I first learned about this eyeshadow being used as a highlighter from Tati. If you ever watch her, like a long time ago, she mentioned this. And I was like, wait a second, this looks so much like my Ofra Rodeo Drive. It is crazy. Let's just take a look at it here in the package. These are beautiful highlighters. So we're gonna go ahead and take one highlighting brush to go on this side of the face. See what I mean? It's like so blindingly beautiful. And we're gonna like highlight this side of my nose, this side of my forehead, this side of my Cupid's bow, that side of my chin. Oh girl, I'm gonna add some more. And now we're going to go ahead and use the Maybelline eyeshadow. And this is my cheek that doesn't highlight as blinding as my other cheek too. So this isn't fair to the Maybelline. It is so freaking good. So, you can kind of see it there. You can see it. It looks so similar to me, like it's insane. I should have switched them just for this one product. With the Maybelline, it's a little bit more gold. The Ofra is more white gold. This one is got a little more gold pigment to it, and you kind of have to build it up a little bit more. The Ofra, you like dip your brush in once and it's like boom. But the shades are so similar. Here we go. There we go. Yes. Yes. Last but not least, I was originally gonna dupe something else for the lips, and I have a whole blog post on it, so you can go and look at that if you want to, and I'm gonna just go ahead and mention it, but the Kylie Cosmetics Coco K liquid lipstick, it's like a mauve rose toned lipstick. I just don't think it's gonna match this makeup look today. The dupe for it is the Jordana Sweet Cream liquid lipstick. These are identical. I love these. There's another dupe I have in that blog post too that matches the Coco K. Go check it out. I have it linked below if you want to find a good dupe for Coco K. We are going to dupe one of my favorite nude liquid lipsticks, and this is the Persona Cosmetics lipstick in the shade OG. And I would absolutely buy this over and over again. I just love it so much. And I think it's worth mentioning that even though I'm duping this, I love this product. And a lot of these I would just still buy the higher end product, but I wanna show you a shade match. Formula match is not quite the same, but the shade match is very similar. And this is the Infallible, L'Oreal Infallible liquid lipstick in the shade Nudist. In the packaging, you can't really tell because this is more of a frosted package, but the color match with these are really similar. And they're just kind of like a true nude. There's no pink to these at all, which I think is gonna match the eye look really well. So Persona is going over here, like this. Then the L'Oreal Infallible liquid lipstick in Nudist is going on the other side. This shade is identical. The formula is just a little different, and this one doesn't dry quite as matte as the Persona one, and that's why I think I like the Persona one a little bit better. But if you want a really true nude liquid lipstick from the drugstore, you want to try this one. Okay. Lipstick dried down. This one takes forever to dry down. That's the only thing. And I feel like this shade is just slightly peachier when it dries down than this side, just slightly. I don't know if you guys can even tell or even care, but I feel like it's so slight that it's not bothering me, and I feel like my face looks like I used all of the same products on each side, right? Do we feel the same way? I feel like you can't tell, right? So which side? And now I'm gonna serve you some looks so you can really see this makeup look up close. What do we think, guys? So can you tell? Do you really think that they are good dupes for one another? I really feel like all of these are winners. Everything is so close, and if it isn't exactly the same, it's so similar that it doesn't make that big of a difference for me, that I really feel like I could confidently say all of these products are dupes for one another. So we're gonna call that a win. I'm gonna wear this makeup look till it's time to wash it off tonight. I'll probably check in with my phone and do a little video recording at the very end of this video, just so you can see how my final thoughts are for me actually wearing it all day, because I think in my last video when I did this, I didn't do like an all day wear test sort of situation, and I really want to do like a check-in later, so we're gonna do that. So stay tuned. It has been about 6 hours since I applied the makeup, and The drugstore side of lipstick definitely stayed better. I was like rubbing because we ate dinner. And then I looked in the mirror later. I was like, whoa, wait a second. So this lipstick, the L'Oreal one, actually stayed quite a lot better. Ultimately, let's get a little close. This lipstick wore better. Not that it matters because I still love that Persona lipstick and I absolutely would repurchase the Persona lipstick over and over again. But as far as the eyes, mascara, concealers, but I feel like everything else is where it all wore like identical. So what do we think? Does one side look better than the other to you? I mean, again, the lipstick isn't a big deal, but I'm really impressed with these dupes. I think I pretty much nailed it as far as formula and shade, and the lips were the only thing that was slightly different in my opinion. Obviously this side, the drugstore side, were better, but I didn't remember how long wearing these were. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna wear that lipstick a little bit more often. Okay, so that's it. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Do you think we found some good dupes? Do you feel like this looks similar on camera? In real life, I honestly am super impressed and I feel like this looks so similar that it doesn't bother me and I love it, but it's just, you know, you guys, I'm really curious what you guys are seeing on the other side of the camera. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in my next video. Bye!